Hugh Wolverine Jackman is P.T. Barnum in The Greatest Showman. The Greatest Showman, directed by Michael Gracie, starring Hugh Jackman as P.T. Barnum, as in the Barnum Circus, or Barnum and Bailey Circus. This movie doesn't mention who Bailey is, though. Basically, this movie shows how Barnum rose to who he's known as now, P.T. Barnum, played by Hugh Jackman, how he became the ringleader of the circus, how he meets his wife, their childhood sweethearts, played by Michelle Williams, and how he meets all the different people that he ends up putting in his act for the show. There is a little man, there's the bearded lady, there's a giant, there's a couple of trapeze artists. One of them is played by Zendaya, and I don't know who the other trapeze artist is played by. And then there's Barnum's business partner and co-ringleader or apprentice to be a ringleader, Philip Carlisle, played by Zac Efron. You also meet Barnum's two little daughters, Helen and Caroline. You see that there are protesters against the show, and this movie knows that this is not the actual true story of P.T. Barnum. And even though there are some true elements in this movie's not exactly the true story, and it's aware of that. This movie is basically a fairy tale of who P.T. Barnum is, really. But it is a pretty good movie, and I did like the music in this movie as well. This is a musical, and musical numbers are done very well, very catchy music. So let's talk about this movie. Now, Hugh Jackman is great in musicals. I did like Les Miserables, even though the pacing in that movie was a bit slow and the movie was very long. I did like that movie, and I did like Hugh Jackman in that movie. So hearing that he's doing this movie, and how much I like circuses, because I've been to the circus once when I was a child, and I've seen magic shows too. So I was very excited for this movie, and I did like this movie a lot. I didn't love it to the point that I consider it to be one of the best movies of the year, but I did like it a lot. Hugh Jackman does a great job playing P.T. Barnum. I really like the way he played the character, and Michelle Williams does a great job playing his wife and childhood sweetheart. They have great chemistry in the movie. I like the girls that they got to play Barnum's daughters in the movie, Caroline and Helen. They were great in the film. One wants to be a ballerina. I think it's Caroline who wants to be a ballerina, and the other one doesn't. She has other dreams. The different people that Barnum gets for his acts were great in the movie. I like the little guy, and I like the bearded lady. The bearded lady, I think, was my favorite of the circus people in the movie. You gotta have a bearded lady. Ain't over till the bearded lady sings, as they say. Remember, Spaceballs made that joke too. And Zac Efron, I thought, was very good in the movie too, playing Philip Carlisle, who becomes Barnum's business partner and apprentice. I thought he was great in the film. And Zendaya, I thought, was very good in the movie, even though I don't like everything about her character and about Philip Carlisle's character, because there is a romance between them, and it didn't totally work for me. Rebecca Ferguson, I thought, was very good in the movie as Jenny Lind, the singer that Barnum meets, although the point where she's introduced, I didn't totally like, really, because I felt like it was a detour from who they set up Barnum to be, and I understand they wanted to make Barnum be a flawed man, but they already show that Barnum has this big ego. I didn't think they needed to introduce Jenny Lind in and her role. I don't want to spoil what her role is, but I didn't totally like who she ends up being, even though I thought Rebecca Ferguson did a pretty good job as this character. And maybe there's some truth to who this character is. Maybe this character really did exist in Barnum's history. But I really did like this movie. This was a very good movie. The music numbers were great. The performances were very good. The acting was very good. I thought the direction was great. But let's get to the things I didn't like, because this is not a perfect movie. The things I didn't like with this movie, first off, the relationship between Zac Efron and Zendaya. And it's because of the age difference. I know Zendaya is 21 years old and Zac Efron is in his 30s. I think he's just turned 30, or is he a little bit over 30? But the thing is, I just saw Zendaya in Spider-Man Homecoming where she's playing a teenager. She still looks very much like a teenager even though she's 21 years old. And then you have Zac Efron, who looks much older than her even though he is in his 30s, and they're almost 9 years or 10 years apart from each other. It felt creepy putting those two together in a relationship, really. I almost wish they picked an older actress to play Zendaya's role instead of Zendaya, really. That's what I wish. But it is what it is. And then there's the second act when you meet Rebecca Ferguson's character in the movie Jenny Lind. I didn't totally like this part in the movie because of how it portrays Barnum in that portion of the film. And then he's got to go to a point of redemption, because we've seen that kind of cliche before, and I almost wish something could have been done better, but maybe this event really did happen in P.T. Barnum's life and they wanted to do some justice to that, I guess. And they felt that they wouldn't be true to who he is if they didn't put this in the movie. But the movie is very good, and I definitely think people should check this movie out. It is a lot of fun. I was singing along with the songs and tapping my foot and everything. So this movie is great, and all the different people they had in the circus were great, especially the bearded lady again. I really like that bearded lady and the little guy. So I'm going to give this movie a B+. I think it is a great movie, and that's all I gotta say for The Greatest Showman.